Hi, and you're very welcome back to the YouTube channel here at Leitrim Daily. Don't forget to subscribe and get involved in the channel. We want to hear from you. If there's things you want to hear about around the county or things you want us to come out and cover, do let us know in the comments or hit us up. Our email is info@leitrimdaily.com. We'd love to hear from you. Now, today we're going to be talking about ladies Gaelic football, and Leitrim Ladies saw their season come to a conclusion on Sunday with a defeat against Down, which ends their interest in the Little All-Ireland Ladies Intermediate Football Championship for this year. It was, of course, their second game in as many weekends, and after defeat to Meath, they needed a victory to have a brighter end to the season. It wasn't to be. 312 to 110, the final score in favour of the Mourne County, and our girls saw their season end on a disappointing note. Now, earlier in the week, I caught up with Charlene Tyrrell, and unfortunately, due to some little minor technical issues, a bit of my picture was missing at the start of the show. So here's what we had to chat about, and I started off by asking her about the game on Sunday and the improvements in the week since the defeat to Meath.
We always say, you can go out and we'll take a beating once our performance is there. And the week before against Meath, we did ourselves no justice at all. So we went out, we improved on things like our kickouts, because against Meath we conceded like 3-6 or 3-7 just continuously from losing our own kickouts. So that was a real positive, and our work rate on and off the ball. And the girls who, didn't start against Meath got the opportunity to come in and play, and played exceptionally well. So that's all positive going forward. We've always said that this championship would be preparation for 2021. So hopefully them two games now will stand to us going into the National League next year.
Of course, a particularly difficult draw, it has to be said, this year. Meath have been, I suppose, the star outfit at this level over the last couple of seasons. They've been in the final the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. But the game against Down, a lot of youngsters coming into that team this season, a huge panel that's been kept through the whole COVID shutdown as well. What's it been like from a player's point of view? Because you've seen it back in the good days, back in championship winning seasons, back in the last decade, right through maybe the lean years over the last 4 or 5 years, and now you're back involved. How has this year been from your point of view?
Well, we started out, you came on board this time last year, and brought a great buzz around Leitrim Ladies football. And, there was 40 odd girls a training, and it was just, everyone wants to be there. And it's great for Leitrim Ladies football to be back there. Some people have left the panel from last year or from earlier this year. So we've had a lot of new girls on board over the last, since lockdown has been lifted. So we're starting from fresh again, really, with the new girls that's coming in. And like that, training sessions are just so competitive because, you have 2 or 3 girls going for one position, and it's great to have that. It just brings so much intensity to training then.
In terms of, I suppose, how that can add an effect, I suppose, for the benefit of the listeners who might not have been in that elite performance situation, how much of an addition is it to a team to have that competition for places, not really being sure if you're going to be picked until the team gets named?
Well, you don't want anyone to get complacent, because you're not going to really improve, your performance or your game if you think to yourself, well, that's my position. So it keeps girls on their toes. Definitely. Especially when you're my age and you're up against the young ones, half your age.
It has been a phenomenal year for yourself, I suppose. You've been back in the Leitrim jersey for the first time in a long time, really. But also on top of...
Yeah, when I last played Leitrim Ladies.
Like, that's a unique enough experience in itself, in terms of leaving that kind of world behind 10 years ago. I know your life has evolved since then. I know you've become a mother and all of that entails. What's it like coming back in at this stage of your career, this stage of your life, to come back into an environment like that?
Brilliant. Like the girls, there's no, what would you call it, ageism. Like, all the girls just treat me like I act like I'm probably 17, 18 years old anyway, so I fit in just well. But it's great. Like, when you're playing football, you make friends for life, and it's just mad to think that when I was back, winning with Leitrim Ladies, some of these girls were only 4, 5, 6 years of age. So I suppose it's good for them to have someone to look up to, hopefully. I remember back in 2007 actually playing with Maeve Quinn And so when she won with Leitrim Ladies in '87, I was only 1. You know, and I used to think that's crazy. How is she still playing football? And now I'm nearly in the same situation as Maeve was, you know, still playing football, and their girls are, you know, really young when we would have played back in Croke Park in 2007.
But for example, Maeve's own daughter, Emer, was part of the squad. I know she had an injury during the season, so she's not involved at the moment, but you played with her for the first half of the season. It does come full circle like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know where them years have went that now I'm in that position, but it is great. You know, the young girls drive you on as well. You know, I think to myself, well, if she beat me that time, she's not going to beat me next time. You know, that keeps me on my toes.
Of course, Mohill as well, your club, and you had a good season with them, back in senior football next year, intermediate championship. A bit disappointing maybe how the Connacht club played out in terms of availability of girls. Just meant you had literally no chance of getting through that game. I know you were tied up for the second half of the match. Dervla Byrne was playing soccer. Plenty of other girls out injured or just not available. How much of an excitement is there around the club in Mohill to get back to that senior grade and maybe compete at that level for the next few seasons?
Well, it's great, like, be it club or county football. As a footballer, you want to be playing, you know, against the best teams out there, and you want to be playing at the highest grade. So it's great to be back up at senior finally. I think I don't know if we were 11 or 12 years since Mohill Ladies won a championship. So it's fantastic to be back up in senior. And like that with the Leitrim Ladies, you know, that's where we want to be too. You know, Leitrim Ladies were All-Ireland champions, intermediate. There's no shadow of a doubt, like, we can get back there again. You know, that's what we want. That's the aim. So that's where every footballer wants to be, playing against the best teams.
What have you noticed between, say, that championship winning team in '07 right through to now? It's 13 years of a gap. Has the talent of the technical ability got better? Has the speed got quicker? What's the main difference between the game then and now?
Oh God, it's a lot more intense. You know, the intensity is unbelievable. And we've seen that against Meath. If you're not up to the scratch of teams like that, you'll just be blowing off the pitch. So I do find the intensity, you know, from what I remember from back then, you know, it's a lot greater than what it was back in '07. And the physicality too, I suppose that's the introduction more of, you know, gym-based, like strength and conditioning, and like there's a lot of physical girls out there. You wouldn't, you know, you have to go in 100% for balls nowadays, or if you go in, who was I marking against me? Vicky Wall, like, you know, you go up against the likes of her, she's a good, strong, you know, player. You need to be strong and hold your own going in against players like that. So that's the intensity and the physicality definitely is a lot different to when we played back in '07.
What do Leitrim have to do to bridge that gap? Because I wasn't at the game this weekend now against Down, but I wasn't at the Meath game, and there was a visible gap in that strength and conditioning, mainly more so than anything else. What do Leitrim need to do to bridge that gap over the next season or two to really be contenders at intermediate level?
I suppose just we have plans in place. You know, we have goals we want to hit, and it's about developing the young players too from a young age. We've young girls there, you know, 16, 17-year-olds, and that's where you need to start with the, you know, the strength and conditioning and developing them, and the importance of it, you know, injury prevention and things like that. But we just need to keep up doing what we're doing, really. You know, I don't see why we can't get back up to the level Meath are at. And they, you know, we've started from scratch, you know, again this year and last year. You know, they have a few years. They're a few years ahead of us. You know, give us another year or two, and we'll definitely be up with the likes of Meath.
Well, listen, I'm sure that will be for the future and for ladies football. Will Charlene Tyrrell be part of that? Will be back next year for county football?
Oh, definitely.
If selected,
we win another All-Ireland.
Now we could hold you to that. Charlene, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. Hard luck at the weekend, but congratulations on being part of the team and I suppose making a return after a 10-year absence from the jersey this season. It's been great to watch you and your teammates all year. So best luck for the season next year.
Thank you. Bye-bye.